So next up we have the GPUs themselves. We touched on these a little bit, in our other videos, but this is important. So the RTX 6000, in this particular case, the RTX PRO 6000, kind of deserves its own individual love and conversation. So this, unless you're getting into like genuine like server grade infrastructure, like GPUs that are going to cost you say $25,000 a piece and come in clusters of 8 when you're buying them, this is really just about the most powerful GPU that you can slot into commercial hardware. 96 gigs of VRAM, so a massive amount of support right on the card to be able to store really large models. 600 watts at maximum power draw, so it's a hungry machine, and it can support, I think it's 1.8 terabytes of read and write per second. So the amount of sheer speed and its ability to just turn data over and get things done is just absolutely massive. Now, if you had just one of these, you're already kind of a lucky duck. One of these by itself can run pretty big models, all the way up to maybe like 120B, 122B. There's some really great MOEs out there right now, like Qwen 3 Coder Next, an 80B MOE that would fly on this thing. Other people mentioning like GPT OSS 120B, that's older, but it would fly on this thing. And you can handle dense models like Llama 70B. So this thing by itself really cooks. Where you find it lacking is when you want to go from really good local models to frontier local models that are actually directly competing with Opus 4.5 or GPT-5, etc. When you start getting into models like Qwen 3.5, 397B, you're starting to get towards models that when they go head to head with some of the leading inference out there, they're actually measuring really well. These are models that you could host on your hardware theoretically if you had more than one of these that can genuinely go blow for blow with some of the cloud models. So to go on this adventure, to be able to host these really big models, we're not going to have just one RTX 6000, but two in this particular case. And like we said before, this is going to give us 192 gigs of VRAM, which is amazing. 1200 watt power draw between them at max throughput. And if we're moving 1.8 terabytes per second in one, then between the two, you're at 3.6 terabytes per second, which is just absolutely insane. It feels like alien technology. But again, we don't have NVLink, so our PCIe bus speeds, what we've got on the board is going to be really critical. Otherwise, you could have all the power you want in the world, and if it can't talk to itself, or if it's talking at too slow of a speed, these things get really cumbersome. One other thing worth noting, there's an alternate version of this particular GPU, and it is the RTX 6000 Max-Q variant. Now, the Max-Q variant has 96 gigs of VRAM, but it throttles itself, or essentially is automatically capped at 300 watts. Very popular GPU, especially for tacking GPUs onto each other and stacking them up on individual board, because the power needs are more convenient. You don't need as much power, obviously, if you've got two 300 watt cards versus one 600 watt. It's easier to match power, it's easier to match thermals. You get VRAM, so you can still try to host the larger stuff. Why did we go with RTX 6000 Pros in this particular case? Really, it was kind of simple in my head. I wanted all the bandwidth that I could get. When you start doing agentic tasks, those watts are actually valuable and meaningful. If you start taking one of these, you can actually do tests and throttle it down in wattage at different stages, from 600 to 500 to 400 to 300. That's not going to change what you can host, but it will change how fast things move. So I like the idea of I could take these cards and anytime I want, I can throttle them down to 300. I can buy 4 of these Pros, set them all to 300, and I can operate at that range. But I can't take a Max Q and make it operate at 600. So that was the thinking behind these, but that's the GPU. These are the single most valuable thing that goes into this machine. And this is going to be really crazy when we get this going.